Just a second, it's not responding. Let it load completely. Yeah, okay. So from this mule palettes, like we are done with the batch job, batch aggregator. Batch step, it is implicit, but we have only used with default settings. So we'll discuss about advanced setting also. Okay, so we had only seen for one batch step. So we can add additional batch steps. Okay, so and you can customize the type of records that you are seeing. Okay, so like if you want to read all records or if you want to read failed records like this. Okay, so you can customize. So here like we'll come back to batch step again. Okay, so because I need to show you one complete application with all the scopes involved in that. Okay, so this is just a template, like if you want to see the syntax on how to use for each, parallel for each, then batch, cache, you can refer this. Okay, so to check the syntax. Okay, but we'll take one use case and build using all the components. Okay, with the proper problem statement. Okay, so then you will get to know. Okay, so async scope, did we discuss? Let me check. I think yeah,
Yes, we
we
discussed.
have discussed. So async scope, until successful scope, all these things are done. Okay, so remaining, like we have scatter gather, choice, round robin, so these things. Okay, so which is flow control. Okay, so let me create a new application for flow control.
But for batch, we didn't do how we can process the errored messages or.
No, that's what I told. Like I need to take one use case for that. I'll explain along with the use case.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so because like whatever we have discussed till now, so you should get an idea about how it works. Okay, so on remaining advanced concepts, like the advanced concept in the sense, like I have explained in detail for each scope, but you need practical knowledge on it. Okay, so for that I'll create one use case. Okay, so that you can refer that for all sorts of like use cases for each scope. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So here, so in flow control we have choice, first successful, round robin, and scatter gather. Okay, so let's start with simple one, which is choice. Okay, so here I'll simply write a few basic conditions. I'll simply write few basic conditions. Okay. Okay. So if one equal to one, okay, I want to set. So I want to set payload as result one. Okay. By default, if you leave the output as application/JSON, the output data type will be hash map, which is basically key value pair. So which is basically a key value pair. Okay. So
We can keep how many ever conditions we want, right?
Yeah, so we can keep how many ever conditions we want. And this use case that I'm trying to explain, it's matching for more than one condition. Okay, so ideally, whichever condition is satisfied first, it would respond back with that response. That's it.
We can use choice if we have a minimum of 2 conditions, right?
Yeah. Okay, so it's deployed. So go to localhost 8081. Test choice. Okay, so I got result 1. Okay, so whichever condition matches first, I'll get that result. Okay, so let's say I change it to this. Okay, okay. So if I hit the URL, so I'm getting result 2 because second condition is getting matched. So even the value is same, data type is not same. Okay, so how it will, you can see that is like if you go to TWLang. Okay, so there is something called type of. Okay, so if I give type of 1 is a number and type of 1 within quotes is string. So if I give type of 1 in the quotes equal to string 1, so it will be false. Whereas if I give quotes for this as well, it will be true. Okay, so not only the value, data type should also match. Okay, so that means whenever you write conditions, and for this condition, like for each expression, it might be resolving to a value. Like you may be giving payload.age, or you may be giving payload.mother.age. Okay, so whatever you are matching, so it should not match only for value, it should also match for type of that value. Okay, so both you should check. Okay, so if it is matching for both, then good. Else, like we need to like design this properly. Okay, so the way you build the choice router, because say choice router is used like unlike say in data view. Okay, so if you take data view, you have if else loop. Okay, so if type is equal to type, then print string. Okay, else print object. Okay, so that means if the condition is met, I'm printing one value. If the condition is not met, then I'm printing the other value. Okay, so if I have this if else statement, then I don't need a choice block here, right? So I can handle the flow control via if else statement itself. Okay, but so we cannot like we don't have to do that. The reason is like problem with if else statement is, so if you write a script here, for example, let's say if the condition matches, I want to call some subflow. Okay, if the condition fails, I want to call it default subflow. Okay, so I can call flows from data view using lookup. Okay, so using lookup, you can call flows. Okay, like you just need to give the flow name, and it has to be a private flow. Okay, so you cannot call a subflow, but you can only call private flows from data view. Okay, so using lookup, you can call flows like private flows from data view. Okay, but problem with that is it will bring back the control here. Okay, so it should not happen. So instead, what I need to do is I need to stop changes. Okay, so I need to stop uh, this flow processing, okay, at some point if the condition fails. Okay, so if I want to achieve that, then it's best possible via choice router. Okay, choice flow control. So in choice flow control you can write condition as many conditions as you want, but if you assume like what to do after all the conditions fail, then you can write in default block. Okay, so then you can write in default block. Okay, so that is how choice flow control will be useful. Okay, so the output of choice router is nothing like it. Basically, whatever these routes generate, that will be the output. For example, this route you are setting a payload. If in the first route you are setting a variable, it won't change the payload. It will only change the variable. Okay, so that is how it will work. So basically, okay. So the choice flow control is simple if else ladder. Okay, but with a default block always, like how you have for if else ladder. So if you have if else if, so you should always have else at the end. Okay, so that will be the default block that you need to define some logic, and you can leave this blank. Okay, see for choice router you can never leave expression blank. Okay, for when root. Okay, so if you go to XML here at this point, see this is the when root. Okay, and the default root is named as otherwise root. Okay, since we don't have any components in the otherwise roots, it's not showing it here. Okay, and we have components and logic written into when roots, it is showing here. Okay, so you cannot leave conditions or expressions field blank. Okay, so that is mandatory, and default block is optional. It's up to you if you want to generate some response after all the tries. That means you can generate one response in default block. Okay, so it depends. Okay, you understood about choice flow control, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Actually,
Mm,
if we leave default blank
mm,
and if no expression matches, then
yeah.
what will happen?
Okay, so whatever payload and variables available before choice router, that will go next. Okay, so okay, let me show that. So I have a variable, okay, called age. Okay, and I have manually given it as 29. Okay, so if one equal to one, so I need to give a I need to reset this variable. I need to override the variable. Okay, age as whatever value is presently there for age plus 1. Okay, so here in second block I need to check if I need to reset the variable again, age. Okay, but this time age plus 2. Okay, and in the third case, like I want to remove this variable. Okay, sorry, for removing variable you can use this. Okay, remove variable. Okay, so here I want to invoke where's dot. Okay, sorry, I just need to give the variable name which is age. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll set payload outside choice router. Okay, in JSON format. Whatever is the value for age, that value should be printed. Okay, so let it restart. Okay, so if I declare, see, I'm getting null because none of the conditions are matching here. Okay, even the value is matching, data type is not matching. So it's going to default block. In default block, I'm removing the variable. Whatever value is there, I'm removing that. And I'm trying to print the value of that variable. So it will be null anyway. Okay. So whereas if I give a matching condition, okay, the constant age is 29. Okay. So if I give the matching condition, see, it will print the age as constant age 29 plus 2, which is 31. Okay. So the output of choice router is going to be always whatever is earlier uh, before choice router. Okay. But if you are trying to modify those particular sections, then it will get modified. So here what I'm doing, like I have initialized a variable before choice router, and I'm trying to set that variable with different value inside choice router. Okay, so I'm trying to set the value for that variable inside choice router with a different value. Okay, so that is getting overridden. I am setting payload here, but at the same time, I'm generating a new payload, which is vars.age, which is like who is the, like what is the age variable value. Okay, so I'm printing that. Okay, so that means I'm overriding this payload, whatever was generated here. Okay, into this. Okay, so choice router works unlike other, like same as other flows or flow controls. Okay, like flow reference, everything. Okay, so it will always be unidirectional, but only thing is it can subroute, it can create subroutes by using conditions. Understood, right?
Yes, sir.
The payload in the choice router, we can keep it in target variable, right? So if you want to print it in the outside of the flow.
That is not needed, and you cannot do that directly in choice router.
Okay.
Because we here or here you don't have any configurations for target variable. Okay, so that means you cannot enrich messages here. Okay, so
Okay.
you'll have to different path. You will have to create subflows, write your logic, call the subflows from here, and then give a target for that flow reference.
Okay. So we cannot create the payload in choice router.
Yeah. Understood, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So again, so choice router, you're clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So here we have something called scatter gather. Okay. So as per scatter gather, so let me open Twilio. Okay. So try to sign up for this. Okay. Click on sign up and start. So I'll ping the URL. Okay, so create the trial account in Twilio. Sorry, I was talking on mute. So we have to sign up for this Twilio. Okay, so to understand the next concept on scatter gather. Okay, so here, so there are multiple things to discuss. Okay, I had to explain Mule 3 one, but I cannot explain Mule 3 because I don't know either you have basic training on it or you never heard of Mule 3 or never looked at Mule 3. I don't know what's your current position. So depending on that, I'll have to explain about scatter gather because for scatter gather they have made changes, okay, significant changes. Like earlier, they used to use custom aggregation strategy, so where you can customize the number of events that you generate from Mule runtime. So all these things you can customize. Okay, how to capture the output of each event and all. Okay, so whereas now, control is less for developer on Mule runtime from code perspective. Okay, so even though it has more capabilities, but developer control is less. Okay, so that means you don't have to write any custom aggregation strategies and all. Okay, so you just need to use scatter gather and drag and drop the components that you want to parallelly execute. That's it. Okay, so I'll show you a use case for this. Okay, so once I explain about scatter gather, I will also have to explain about remaining flow control topics, which is round robin, first successful. Yeah, so round robin, first successful, and scatter gather. Okay, so we'll discuss that tomorrow. Sorry, I'm getting one notification to join call. Okay, so do you have any questions?
No, Jagdish.
Yeah, so I wanted to continue further because I wanted to finish this scopes. Okay, so I'll have to manage. So tomorrow morning, shall we connect at 11? Will it be late for EST guys? Like how? Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Fine with us.
11 is like 12:30 for us. Is it okay if we can
Okay,
connect
so
around 10 o'clock?
yeah, 10 fine. Yeah, so we'll connect at 10 then.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so we'll connect at 10. So tomorrow I'll complete few palettes here. Okay, so for flow control, like try to create a trial account for Twilio. Okay, and there is one setting that you need to do for Gmail, but that's fine, we can do it later also, not mandatory. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
When we are trying to create the account for Twilio, it's asking us few questions like which Twilio product are you here to use? And what do you plan to build with Twilio? So what should we choose?
So just mention OTP services, like this kind of thing if it is asking.
Okay.
Can you share your screen? Let's see, like I didn't get that forum now because I
Yeah.
just created the account, right?
Yeah, I'll share it. Can you enable the sharing?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, are you sharing your screen? Hello.
Sorry, I just rejoined.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is what it's asking.
Okay. So which Twilio product are you? Select the drop down. SMS.
SMS. Okay.
Build alerts and notifications. That's it.
With
So with minimal code. No, with no code at all. Sorry, with no code at all.
Okay.
What is your goal today? Build something myself.
Something else.
No. Explore what my no. Build something myself. That's
Okay.
just a second. Okay, that's fine. No problem. Yeah. We can customize later also. Okay. So
That
get
is
this
it.
account. Yeah, that's it. So get this account created. So tomorrow I'll show how to integrate this with MuleSoft to send out SMS. Okay.
Okay.
So in order to explain about scatter gather, the use case that I have taken needs a Twilio account, then a Gmail account to send out an email. Okay. So that's it. So I'll explain scatter gather using such use case.
Okay.
Yeah. So morning 10 o'clock will connect.
Okay.
Thank you.